All right, I want to welcome you to our live instructional webinars designed to support the school annual yearbook program. Today we'll be focusing on the functions that relate to building activity or candid pages. Specifically, we will be reviewing pages, bleed margins, toolbar, design functions, templates, click and go templates, custom templates, and themes. This webinar will be approximately 45 minutes to an hour. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to talk about bleeds and margins to kind of explain the concept of them. So the bleeds in the margin right here, everything in this gray area right here is the bleed zone, and also is the estimated trim area. The reason why is important is because we want to make sure all of our backgrounds and all of our designs go to this to the very edge of the page. If not, then when we go to cut it, you may end up with this white um, strip on one side or the other, and because something like that, or something like this. Um, that's because something didn't get all the way to the edge, and that's why we want it all the way to the edge. That way, when it's trimmed, that red is all the way to the very edge of that piece of paper. Otherwise, it looks like the print was just off just a little bit when it was printed, or something was off or wasn't cut just right. So that's why we want to do that. It just makes the book a lot nicer. Also, in this gray area, there is a 1 inch, 1/8 inch um, plus or minus trim right there, and that plus and minus all depends on things like how sharp the blade was, how the paper was loaded, the paper itself, how there's a press that presses down on the paper before it's cut. It could be just how like that press touched it or whatever. Um, it could be a number of different things, so that's why we always say there's a plus and minus to that trim. To get an idea of what that trim is going to look like, we can always go to print preview right here. And so this dotted line right here on this print preview, that's where the estimated trim line is going to be. So if you ever want to see how your book is going to look, or how certain images are going to sit right there, this is where you can take a look at it and kind of see estimated where that page is going to be trimmed at. Now there is one thing we want to caution you. When you're placing images outside of this green area right here is good to go. You're safe. You can place all the images you want in this green area. When you start placing images right here at the edge, you start running into certain things. Namely, you have the 1/8 inch trim line right here. So everything in this gray area potentially could be trimmed off here and here. So we go back to that preview. So right here, that trim line right here, so you can start seeing how much of this image is going to be start trimmed off. And so that's something to take into account when you're putting images close to the trim line like that. If you had an image, something like this, may get away with it, maybe right here, but may not right here. So that's something else to take in consideration too. All right, so now we're going to look at some of the designer basics here. We're going to take a look at the toolbar and kind of explain some of these different things. First one, starting at the very top and working our way down. This first one is our pages. Here, instead of going back to the page ladder and then scrolling down to find the one page we need to go to and clicking on it, we can just save ourselves some time right here. And we can just scroll back up and maybe click on this page that we need to go to, or we can come back down and click on this other page. So it just saves ourselves time from instead of going plan, page ladder, finding our page. It's just a lot quicker to navigate the book this way. Next is designs. Here we will talk about templates and everything else here shortly. But this is where you're going to find your templates from your last for this year that you've saved, last year. Again, we'll talk about all this here momentarily. Next is images. Here's where you can access all your images under activity as well as portrait, but mainly your activity pages. Here you can click to any one of your folders and access those that pertain to whatever page you're working on. Next is art. Next is art. Right here you can find image frames. These are just placeholders for candid images. So if you want to, you can actually design like your own candid page, and then that way when you go back to your images, you can always pull like an image over and put it right there. You don't have to use these if you don't want to. You can simply pull over an image right here, resize it the way you want, and if you ever need to change out that image, when you delete it, it leaves an image frame. So these could be just be used for like decorative or designing your page any way you want to. We have different shapes, so it all depends on what you want to use. Next, we have clip art. Here we have different pieces of clip art that you can use anywhere on the page. Um, you can use every single one of these under category. You can come over by under cover if you see something that you like. You can use that and use something like that. There we go. We also have, by cover, by themes. If your school has a theme for the year, you can kind of look under year and see if anything matches that theme for the year. Then we also have by type, and just click the little triangle next to it, and you'll see the subfolders underneath that. So you can always come over here, find something that you like, and then kind of use that to kind of help decorate your book. All right. Next, we have different shapes right here. And if you click on these shapes, you will see a little toolbar that pops up above these. If you click off of it, it goes away. Click on it, it comes back. Right here, you can actually change the coloring of the different shapes. So you could put like a shape box right here. If you have different images, to kind of separate these images, you could put like a little shape box right here to kind of help separate them. But it all depends on what you want to use them for. You can just decorative. I'll show you some more here in the kind of the tips and tricks there at the end. But you can just kind of use them for something like this. Okay. Next under text is art is your text. These are text boxes that you can just drop on the page, click and hold, drag it over to the page. And we'll show you some of the toolbar and things like that when we start talking about text and formatting and stuff like that. Flow you should be familiar with from the last webinar. Next is your history, and we will talk about history and what to do towards the end. So next we want to talk about templates. So we're going to come back over here to design. Oh, sorry. First off, we want to talk about this. So under this toolbar here real quick, this is a file right here. You have your save as template, which we'll talk about here momentarily. Um, Also, you have your view as a PDF, so you can click this to view this page as a PDF. Under edit, we have your undo and redo, which is actually right here. Your cut, copy, and paste, that's the same as the keyboard. Your Control C, Control V, or Command V, Command C for Macs. Under view, here is a nice little trick right here. Nice little tip. If you have two people that are assigned to a page, maybe one's assigned to a left page, one's assigned to a right page, to avoid a save conflict error, have them go to view, and currently facing pages is selected that I can see both pages. Have them click on single page view, have both of them do that, and then that way one can work on the other page, one page, while the other one works on the other page, and it just avoids that save conflict error. Right here under arrange, we have several different things you can do. Let's just go ahead and put some of these right here. So under arrange, what we can do is we can group these. So if we have them placed on the page right here, we need them on another page, we can group these and then just move them right there. That way we're not losing our spacing, we're not losing the design, we're not losing any of that stuff. Then all we have to do is come up here to arrange and then just ungroup, and it will ungroup those. The other thing we can do is align to the left and then align to the center. Here we have line to the middle. The only thing we do not have is an even distribution. Um, so anything with spacing in between them, you're going to have to eyeball that on your own. If for any reason you need to lock these images so they're not moved, you come up here to lock unlock and just click lock all. So now no matter what I do, I cannot move that image. I can highlight everything on the page, but I cannot move that image. To unlock them, I come up to arrange, lock unlock, then unlock all, and now I can move those boxes. Right, so now let's get to templates. Under design, we have several different options. We have, of course, the custom, the page surfer, click and go, advertising, all that. Let's go under page surfer. We have candids. So if you need candid pages or pages that have like your field trip or your book day or whatever special assembly, you can click on this. Here you have several different uh, templates ready to go. Find the one you like. We're going to click and hold here real quick before we do that. There's one thing I want to show you. Okay, we're going to put a background on that. So if I have right here a template, I'm going to put right here. If I click no on this one, it's going to ask you if you want to retain anything on the page. If I click no, you'll see the word templates is gone. If I drag and drop this right here and I click no, I don't want to retain anything on there, you will see the background has disappeared. Now let's undo that and let's click and hold and let's bring this back. And if I say, yes, I want to retain what is on there, mainly like the background. So right there, the background is on there. And of course the text, I already had the text on there. So of course the text is going to be there, which by the way, if you ever see a red X, that just means there's more typed than what the box can display. If we bring it down, you'll see that the red X is gone. Uh, but by saying yes, I want to retain it, it's going to retain like what's already on there, including the background, whatever text or anything like that. So now with these templates right here, everything is you can edit some of the stuff or edit some of it. So you click on this little box right here. If you don't like that coloring, you want to stick to maybe like school colors or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want like there. You want that one to be here, and you want this one to be There we go. Um, Now, real quick, you're about to ask yourself, I selected the black, but it's coming up gray. If you go to format and effects, if you're seeing something like this, you want that color black, but it's not coming up that way. It's coming up gray. It's coming up a different color. Like this one was red, but it's coming up a different color. Go up to the format and effects and look at tint. And then if you lower the tint, there you will see that it's turning into the color it should be. So if I click on this and I come back to format and effects, you can see it's going back to the correct color. So a lot of these templates may have format and effects. The tint maybe up a little bit, or may have um, a little bit, maybe a little bit of a transparency. So that's something you may want to check. All right. So if you have this template right here, you like the way it looks, you have it redone, you have it set up the way you want it set up, and you want this particular uh, template on other pages. So instead of trying to find the template again, redoing the whole coloring or adding things or whatever you may want to do, we're going to save this as a template. To save it as a template, we're going to come up to File, Save as a Template, and go ahead and give it a name. Then we're going to click on Save. All right, and then all right. Then when we go to another page, a clean page like this, we're going to come back over here to Design, come back up here to Custom, My Templates. All right, and then we're going to scroll down until we find the one that we just had on the other page. Click and hold, drag onto the other page, and then let go. It's going to ask us if we want to retain anything. That's if you have a background on there. If you have a background on there, just say yes. Um, and there we go. So that template is now on there. If there's any other templates you want, you can click and hold, drag it on there, and you bring those template over. I mean, you could bring any of one of the templates, but it just gives you an idea of you can save things uh, and move those templates onto other pages. This really helps too. Here, let me delete all this. This really helps, especially if you have a page like this where you have flow options already on there set up, ready to go. If you already have candids on another page set up, ready to go, saving your templates right here just saves you a lot more work. You can set things up with clip art and all that. And then if you go to another page, then this way, all you have to do is change clip art, maybe change a name or a coloring or whatever, just do little things. But saving things as a template just takes a big chunk out of your time. Um, and it makes it a lot easier just to drag and drop things. All right, so next we're going to talk about click and go. So we're going to go up to, not that one, this one. So this is the click and go. This has different little things you can add um, to a yearbook right here. Once you bring this in, you're going to see a dotted yellow line all the way around here. You're going to notice that I'm trying to click into all this and I can't. I may bring an image and I can drop an image, but I can't do anything else with this. This is because it is grouped together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to select it. I do this one of two ways. First one is I can come up to arrange and click on ungroup, or this toolbar that opens up, I can come all the way up over here next to the little padlock and click on ungroup. And then right here, you'll see now that everything has a yellow box around it. This means it's now ungrouped. So now I can click on this and make any changes here, make any changes right here, add whatever I need to, so I can make all the changes there. To regroup it, all I have to do is select everything, click and hold, and drag my cursor to, excuse me, to select everything, then go to arrange, group, and now everything's grouped. So I can move this all over. And the reason why it's grouped when it's first on there is so that you can move this around without losing spacing, without losing an element on there. Um, because if it was like this and you went to go do that and maybe you think you have everything, so then you go to move stuff and then all of a sudden you're losing that. That's why it's all grouped together. It just saves you from accidentally not selecting something and dragging something over and then realizing, well, now it's it's out uneven, or the spacing's not correct anymore. So now if you made something that you want to use as a click and go, maybe it's a custom name thing or whatever, all you have to do is select everything, come up to file, click on save as click and go, give it a name, and click on save. Then when you go back to design, you go back up to custom, my click and go, and then there's where all your click and goes are. So you can actually bring in whatever you need to bring in, and it's all right there. And make sure I got everything ready to go there. All right, there we go. So we're going to talk about backgrounds next. So you saw me kind of putting backgrounds on there real quick, but we're going to talk about it a little more in detail. So there's two different ways to get the background pop up there. The first one is you can right click and change background, or you can come up to edit and change background. Either way will bring up this little screen right here. Now here you have a left page, right page. So if you want something on the right page, make sure you select right page, select left page. Next is background color. So you can click down on there and you can go through and select any one of these as a background color. If you want to choose an image, click on choose image. Uh, for some of you, it may default to all backgrounds. Um, right here are just some backgrounds that we have designed. Some of these backgrounds will have, if you look at the bottom right here, they'll have the numbers or the name of the background. It is very wise if you use this background, and if you want to use it on multiple, write down the number. So that way, when you come back to this, all you have to do is go up to the search bar right here, type in 41, and then just look for anything with the 41 in it, find the one you want, and then select it. Some of these do have a left and right page. So here we go with this one. Go out to right, choose image. Where do so some of these templates do have like a left page, right page combination. So if you want to do something like this, just make sure to write down uh, the two numbers for them. So if you're going through trying to look for some of these, see if I can find another one. Oh, here you go. These are good ones. So if you see something like this, you can definitely tell like 67 is a left page, 68 is a right page. So just write these down, and then that way you can just put those on the page. You click on things. But like I said, you just click these. So like I said, you could just search for those, put those on the page, and then you can go from there. Now, some of the things you can do is we have flip and rotate. So let's find another image, a good image. Here we go. Let's find this one right here. So you can actually flip that around. I can flip horizontal. You can actually flip like a 90, or you can go right here, flip it 90 degrees, 180. Right here, you go crop. And so let's say you just want to, right there, maybe you just want to use just a little bit of that image right there. Next, we have the tint. So if it's an image that's really bright and you want to knock that brightness down, or you think that the coloring is just going to be a little too much for what you have on there, come over to tint, and you can actually knock that down a little bit. Then click on save, and then you can actually go into page preview and actually look at the page and see what it's going to see what's actually going to look like in the preview. See if you need to change the tint a little bit more. So, right, and if for any reason you don't want that template on there, just remove template. Yeah, just remove background, and there we go. If you have a book that is personalized or has a custom cover or custom elements onto it, um, such as like custom clip art, clip art can be found, like I said, under clip art right here. For backgrounds, all you have to do is go to change background, choose image, click on this little down arrow right here in the upper left hand corner, come down to clip art, and click this little arrow right here to reveal these subfolders. Here is by cover. Click on the little arrow right there. Sometimes you may accidentally just click on the word cover and it'll say no content to show. There is, you just have to click on this little arrow. Sometimes it can be a little finicky, so then all you have to do is click on whatever your cover was. And then here you can see like all the anything that does not have a red background, such as this one right here, can be used as a background. So we can click on this and use this as a background. We can come down here, and even though this is technically a clip art, it is large enough that it can be used as a background. So you can click on that and select it and use it as a background. Okay, so you're probably going to stretch the image out a little bit bigger, then you'll drag it so it's in position. What's your job? All right, so that's where those backgrounds are. So next we're going to talk about formatting. All right, so let's talk about formatting here, and there's several different things we're going to show pertaining to formatting. We're going to come over here to text, and we're going to select this text right here, and we're going to show a few things. So I'm actually going to make that text box just a little bit bigger, so we don't have to mess with it here in a bit. So with text, if you click on it once, you'll see this little toolbar that pops up right here. And there's several different things on the toolbar, so we'll talk about it here one at a time. First one is your fonts. So here, if you click down, any font that you have activated will be right here. I'm going to select my favorite one right here. Over here is style. So if you have a certain style that you have selected, like maybe teacher names, it will default to that style. That style will have like the font, it will have the font size, and all that. So next is the font size right here. We can make it the font slightly larger. It's in even, so if you ever need to go an odd number or one number down, just click inside that, delete it, type in like the 3, uh, click the enter button on your keyboard, and it will drop it down by 1. Next is the color. So there's 4 color options right here. By default, it will always select the text fill. So here we can change the color of the text. To the right, we can change the text stroke. So we can actually add a stroke line around that text if we want to. To the left, first is the shape stroke. So there's 2 things we can do right there. First, we can select a color and we'll put a stroke line around this box. We can also come over here to stroke line and we'll put a line around this box. The 1 right here is how thick it's going to be. So here, like number 9, it's going to be a real thick line around that box. And then 0 just takes it away. So if you want to change the color of that stroke line, you can just click on shape stroke. Click that, and here you'll see to put a stroke line around it. If you want to make that bigger, again, just change the thickness right there. Next is shape fill. Click on that, and you can add a shape fill to this. So if you wanted to add, so you make this like the name of the teacher, you can do that without having to add extra things uh, behind the name and do that. So you can actually uh, do like an all-in-one. And I'll explain what I mean by the other one here in a minute. Next is the bold, italic, underline. So you can bold. Some fonts are bold by default. Some fonts will not let you italicize it. You can add an underline if you want. Alignment right here just says, you know, like where is it? Like is it to the left, to the right, in the middle? It's the name adjusted to the top of the box, to the middle, or to the bottom. Next is format and effects. That's just right here is just the transparency. Another thing you can do under format and effects for just about all of them is you can add a drop box or a drop shadow. You can change the distance of the drop shadow if you want. The degree just change like basically where the light looks like it's coming from. The opacity is barely visible to a solid. Blur, you can mess with that if you want. Typically, I just leave it alone right there. Color right here, you can actually change the coloring if you want to. The other thing you can do is you can add a glow, and this is overall. So for glow, you can change the opacity to visible to barely visible, and then this blur will be to barely a blur there to something that's more pronounced. All right. So next, we're going to talk about. We're going to come up here to images. Now let's go to my. Oh, not that one. There we go. So there's sort of a few things you can do with the images right here. If you want to, we talked about shapes earlier. You can actually click and hold and bring shape over, and you can put the shape right there. We're going to put that just barely over the photo. We're going to change the color of that. So we're going to come up here to this toolbar right here, and we're going to change the color of that shape. We'll come over here to arrange, and here we have send backwards, send to the back. Send to the back drops it all the way to the back. Send backwards just drops it one spot down. So by doing that, we can actually put like a little frame around it if we don't want to put a frame on this photo, which you can, by the way. You can just add a stroke and then, or you can do something like this, the way it looks like it's sitting inside a nice little frame. You can change the coloring right there. So this is one thing you can do to the with these nice little shape boxes. So you can add something like that. Now with these photos right here, we do have a, a, a simple editing program right here, or editing feature. So you can click on the photo right here. Right up here, you'll see like a little camera iris. So you can click that little camera iris. It's called the Snap Edit. Here under Snap Edit, we have several different options right here. We could turn this into a black and white image. We can make it like a little old timey. Of overlay and colorize, I'll explain later. Here we can have brightness, contrast, and saturation. So here we can change the brightness of it just a little bit. Here we can change the contrast. We can change the saturation just a little bit. Then when we go to save, it's going to save it as a copy. It will not save over the original photo. So anytime any edits you make, it will never save over the original copy. You'll always have that one. So we're going to click on save. And then there's a save copy. We go back to our images, and then right here, you'll see how we have the original, one of the edits, and another edit that was made. So you will see several copies of that photo. So that's just what it does. Something else you can do with this photo, we'll just make it just a little bit bigger here. So one of the things you can do is come up over here to Snap Edit, and we have this one tab right here called Mask. So we can click on that. Click on Eraser. I wouldn't use Smart Eraser because Smart Eraser will just like pick and choose like little things on the photo to erase. So just use a regular eraser. Here we can adjust our brush size, our tolerance level, and then the mask area as transparent. So let's say we have a lot of blank space right here that we just don't want to use. So we could take our brush tool and we can make a little rough edit right here. Um, Something like that. There we go. And then we could just edit all this out right here. Okay, there we go. So we could just edit out right there. All right. And then we got to maybe edit out a little bit right behind her. So with that, we save it. Now everything there is transparent. So if we wanted to put her image right here and maybe grab this image uh, and put this image right here. Right here, then come over to arrange, send backwards, and then there we go. We can make a nice little like just collage of photos on top of each other. So it's just one little option you can do. So we're gonna take her image back, and let's say you got there, you just don't like it. Come up to Snap Edit, Mask, and then you can just right here, click that Enable Mask, and it just takes it away. There is another option. Also, there's an erase button right there. You can come back and you can actually bring back the original image. There is another option under transparent, and that is black and white. So just like transparent took it away, here we can actually turn everything in the background here, we can make that black and white. And you can always adjust the brush size to fine tune it and get a little bit closer if you need to. There we go. And then if you ever make a mistake, just come over to your two on erase, or there we go. And fix any mistakes you want. We can click on save. And then everything behind her is in black and white. So you're highlighting the student, highlighting the project, highlighting the item. Um, just add it adds just something a little bit different to the book. Whatever you need to do to make it, just a little more. Add that one little extra to it. Even in this photo too, you can also add a like a drop shadow. So you could actually add that as well, and as well as a uh, so just something more you can do on this. All right, so next we're going to talk about history right here. This history tab right here will have everything and anything that has been done to that page since the beginning. Here you'll have like today, yesterday, this week, last week, and then older version. Older version will have everything, like I said, from the very first day that this book was made, all the way up to right now. For any reason you need to bring something back from the page, all you have to do is click and hold, drag it over, and just let go, and it'll bring everything back from that page from that time. Also, a little tip, if there is something on another page you want to bring to this page without having to save it as a template, all you have to do is go to the history, see something that you like, click and hold, and you can bring it into the page that way. All right. So at this time, if you have any questions, you can feel free to take yourself off of mute and ask any question you want. If you don't want to, you can also ask it in the chat as well. All right. Go ahead and read the outro right here. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. This demonstration of the function related to the creation of the activity pages may help when it comes time to build your yearbook. Using the templates already in the program and building your own templates should save time and give the book continuity. Feel free to join us next time for our final stages of the yearbook building process. I highly suggest if you have not signed up for that webinar to sign up for that webinar. There'll be a lot of helpful information you need to know to complete your book, things that you need to take into consideration before submitting everything, including if you have rebooked with us, starting to move images for this year over to next year that you want to use, saving pages that you want to use next year in the book as templates. Um, I guarantee that will help you in the long run to do that. So definitely join us for that one, as that one is really important. I want to thank you all again for tuning in. As I said before, a recording will be sent out to everyone once this is over.